Okay, so if you've ever owned an orchid, you know the feeling, right? One minute it's this gorgeous, perfect plant, and the next its leaves are turning yellow, the buds are falling off, and you have no idea why. Well, the good news is the fix is almost always the same. Today, we are going to completely demystify orchid care and show you exactly how to get the watering right every single time. Does this scene look a little too familiar? You bring home a beautiful orchid, it looks amazing, and then boom, yellow leaves. Buds that just drop right off before they even get a chance to open. It feels like you've done something terribly wrong. But here's the secret. It almost always points back to one single thing.
So let's reframe this. It's not that you're a bad plant parent. Think of it as your orchid literally trying to talk to you. It's sending out an SOS, a cry for help, and that message is all about water.
Whether you're seeing those yellowing leaves, the shedding buds, those mushy, faded leaves, or even the dreaded root rot, they all lead back to the same culprit. It's not some mystery disease or a lack of fertilizer. It all comes down to how we're watering. So let's get into the two biggest mistakes people make. So where does it all go wrong? Well, it usually comes down to two really common watering methods that honestly you've probably seen recommended online. But the truth is, they're actually doing way more harm than good. Let's break them down. First up, mistake number one, pouring water right from the top down into the center of the plant. I know, it seems logical, but when you do that, water gets trapped deep down between the leaves and the stem. That little pool of water is the perfect breeding ground for fungus, and it can cause the whole stem to rot from the inside out. And the second big no-no is taking the pot and just holding it right under a running faucet. The sheer force and volume of that water can actually damage the stem. Plus, it just soaks the whole thing way too much, way too fast. And again, that leads straight to rot. But hey, if you're listening to this and thinking, oops, I've done that, don't panic. Here's a quick damage control tip for you. Just grab a napkin or a paper towel and gently blot up any of that extra water that's collected in the center of the plant. A simple little step like that can make all the difference. So if watering on a weekly schedule is out, and these common methods are out, how in the world are you supposed to know when it's time? This right here is the most important skill you're going to learn. It's not about a calendar, it's about learning to read the signs your orchid is giving you. And the signs, well, they're all in the roots. But, and this is so important, you should only pay attention to the roots inside the transparent pot. You see those wild-looking roots growing out into the air? Those are aerial roots. Just ignore them. They're pretty much always a silvery gray color, so they're not going to tell you anything useful. The real story is inside the pot. And the system is as simple as a traffic light. Just take a look through that clear plastic pot. If the roots you see are silvery gray or kind of whitish, that is a green light. It means your orchid is thirsty and it's time to water. But if the roots are a vibrant, bright green, that's a red light. Stop. The plant is perfectly hydrated and adding more water will just hurt it. Okay, so now we've cracked the code. We know exactly when our orchid needs a drink. The next piece of the puzzle is how to do it correctly. And luckily, there are two fantastic orchid-approved methods. The first method is what we'll call the 10-minute soak. This technique is really popular, and for good reason. But the absolute key to making it work is getting the timing just right. The process is super simple. You just place the orchid's pot inside a bigger bowl of water, and you let the roots soak up what they need from the bottom. It's actually cool to watch. You'll see the roots transform from that thirsty white to a healthy green. But here's the golden rule. No more than 10 minutes. After that, pull it out and let all the excess water drain away completely. So why is that 10-minute rule so crucial? Well, you can think of the orchid's roots like little sponges. They absorb water incredibly fast. If you leave them sitting in water for too long, they just get waterlogged. And that excess moisture is a one-way ticket to root rot. So seriously, set a timer for this one. All right, on to our second technique, which is actually described as the most ideal method. We're calling this one the perfect pour, and it's all about precision. The magic number to remember here is 75 milliliters. Now, what does that actually look like? It's about half of a small glass of water. That specific amount is pretty much exactly what a standard orchid needs, no more, no less. So you measure out your 75 milliliters, and then you pour it slowly around the edge of the pot. Make sure you avoid getting any water in the center, on the stem, or the leaves. Some water will probably drain out into the saucer, and that's totally fine. The orchid will absorb it over the next couple of hours. Just check back in the evening, and if there's still water sitting in the saucer, pour it out. Whew, okay, so after all of that, what are the absolute must-remember rules to keep your orchid happy and healthy? Let's put it all together in one final simple checklist. Okay, let's bring it all home. Your checklist for a thriving orchid. Rule 1. Always check the roots inside the pot first. Rule 2. Only water when those roots are silvery gray or white. Rule 3. It's best to water early in the morning. 4. After you water, give it a nice spot with plenty of sunlight. And finally, number 5. Make absolutely sure the pot is well drained and never ever left sitting in a puddle of water. You follow these rules and you are golden. And there you have it, the great mystery of watering an orchid solved. You are now officially ready to stop guessing and start listening to what your plant is actually telling you. So that leaves me with just one question. Armed with all this new info, what's the very first thing you're going to go check on your orchid right now?